So sometimes what we want to do is get more precise estimates of children's knowledge of language. And so two very common ways that people start with are a system called the mean length of utterance, or MLU for short, and it tends to correlate with different, more precise measures of children's structural, grammatical, and phonological development. But the way it's actually done is very simple. You just track the average number, so the mean, of meaning-bearing units, morphemes, in the child's speech. So this is a little bit different than words, right? So if we have an example, he likes me. In English, this is actually 4 morphemes. So there's he, which is referring to some guy, right? Likes is actually 2 different morphemes, the liking event, and that little s actually is a morpheme because it indicates the fact that it's a third person singular he, she, or it that's doing the liking. So it's actually a separate meaning-bearing unit. And then me, who's the speaker, right? So you're tracking these kinds of units and the average number of them in the child's speech. So the mean length of utterance. So for every utterance, you count how many of these, you take the average, and that's a number that you can get to sort of give you an indicator of where the child's production is. And again, it tends to correlate with different, more precise measures that we'll talk about shortly, in perhaps the next podcast, children's grammatical and phonological development. Now, another one that can be useful is to get what's called, what's been implemented as the MacArthur-Bates Communicative Development Inventories, right? So communicative development, language, right? Inventory is list, and these are the people who made it, right? And what this is just a list of words or gestures or word combinations that children either produce or comprehend. And you just ask the caretakers of these kids to just check off, does my kid produce this word, gesture, word combination? Does my kid comprehend this word, gesture, or word combination? Now, as you can imagine, this is perhaps a little bit imprecise, but it's a little bit better than looking in the naturalistic speech. So, for example, if the child never says the word hippogriff in the sample that you took, but the parent says, "Oh yeah, my kid understands hippogriff because I read them Harry Potter every night." Okay, right? You can get a little bit more precise information about what they comprehend. The sorts of words that are on these lists probably do not include hippogriff, but might, for example, include things like kitty and penguin.